The main advantage of having a website in development is that you can talk about the website and its development. Also, you can talk about the time, you can mention that we're here in history, highlights from the Chrome 127 update. So, this is the version of Chrome that I'm using right now. And you can talk about basically anything that you want to when you have a website like this. The main feature that I recently updated about my website is this animated logo. I made this with React. There's a loop that's based in a timer. I think it's a set timeout. I don't believe this is implemented the most efficiently, but it is implemented. You can see that the logo changes using some sort of AI generated image. And there are some inconsistencies. There are some stylistic quirks about this animated logo that might not be preferable for different clients or different goals, but this is where we are right now. I think one of the things that I can do with this logo is have it respond to the disposition. Does that work? I don't know if that works. No, not quite. No? No. So there are some things about this logo that I believe work differently depending on the site that you're on, or depending on the version. There we go. It's not documented. So one of the things that I'm exploring with modern web development and modern web design is kind of web development and web design as a production. Because for the most part with productions, there are a lot of reasons to try to churn out content that quickly responds to the tastes of the audience, and the tastes of the audience develop very quickly and are subject to so many different factors. And websites can be a bit more interesting. I think a lot of the recent websites have been focused on maintaining a consistent style, which is important. And I do believe that having a consistent sense of style is still necessary. But I also believe that we're just shifting towards different focuses. We have different relationships to um, what it means to be consistent. Like one of the options that I have is to try to stick with some sort of component library, like Material UI. And that would make it possible to do some things very quickly. And it might be more coherent to more people. The audience that I've had in the various spaces that I've had it, or had the sense of audience, um, I'm sure many of them would have been looking for something a bit more coherent at the times that they were interested in helping in specific ways. But you got to take time. And the reason that you need to take time is so people actually relate to the reasons why you engage with certain spaces. If it isn't relatable, then people are a lot less likely to engage. Unfortunately. And that is just how it is. That's how it goes. So one of the things that I might want to do is replace this with a video. instead of a whole bunch of images, because a whole bunch of images are a lot more likely to fail, just because anything can happen, and then caching gets in the way and stuff like that. It's a lot harder to debug a lot of random images. Not necessarily random, but if it's a video, then I know that that's the thread that we're working with. And there might be other situations where I want to use different streams, different chunks for videos. And I'm going to be looking more into that. I think I have some articles about looking into optimization. Is that here? What is this? Software, subjects, oh, career. Interesting. Optimization. It's interesting because I remember making this article. I remember making the various pages of these websites, but navigating them um, feels organic, very organic, not necessarily very easy to share. And there is some challenge in remembering why things are oriented the ways that they are, which is kind of interesting. And there are some ways to clean this up. Or I don't know if I want to use the word clean this up. Use the phrase clean this up. There are some ways to make this easier to navigate. And part of the reason that it's designed this way to begin with is so that we can talk about what makes websites easier to navigate, why things are the ways that they are, so on and so forth. I feel like that's pretty good for now.